Bag up, bag up. Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord. Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. What you doing, Terry? Terry, what you doing?
That means that we punched our ticket to go try to win a Super Bowl, and that's it. We got one game at a time, starting at 1 o'clock on Sunday. Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I'll go to war with every single one of you, every game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud. It be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. 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 It's showtime.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights on the Buffalo Fan Base Network. I'm your host, Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP from the 313. And by my side is my main man, Mr. Jarek, my special co-host for tonight. And Jarek, happy July 4th, and happy July 4th to all of Bill's Mafia. What is up, Jarek, man? Are you hearing all the fireworks outside too?
Nah, it's about to be. I mean,
Yeah,
yesterday it was lit up, but no, today is about to start any minute now. So if you hear some fireworks in the background, man, I apologize, man. I got the windows down. I made sure to add a little bit of sound. Oh, there it is. Now it's starting to happen.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Jarek. I'm gonna tell all of Bill's Mafia. My baby princess is gonna be barking up a storm. So it is what it is. But we're here on July 4th. You're gonna have to deal with it. A little princess barking tonight. But man, I did the hot dog contest today. I did a live stream of that, and I had a great time. But Joey Chestnut, do you watch that, by the way, or no? You don't watch?
Yeah,
the hot dog.
I gotta watch the GOAT, man.
You gotta watch it. Right? Okay, so Joey was back today, and Joey destroyed everybody by about 20, 25 hot dogs, I think. And he's the GOAT. He is the GOAT. I didn't think he was going to get 80 because I was going on his last two appearances with that event at Nathan's. But I thought he was going to be around that 70, 72 range, and he got 70 and a half hot dogs. But still, that's a damn lot. I think he's still in his prime, but I think he's slowly getting out of that prime. But even if he's declining, he's still so far ahead of the next closest guy. He could still be on a decline and still be beating the rest of these guys by about 15 to 20 hot dogs. So, man, it was fun. And me and my buddy, we did a 5-minute challenge, Jarek, to see how many hot dogs. Nathan's hot dogs. I got 6. My buddy got 5. It is not easy. I'm going to tell you right now, not easy to do. Nope. And it's like I like a good hot dog, but dude, it gets like when you're eating that fat, you get kind of like nauseous a little bit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's like, but damn, man, I did 6. I was proud of myself, but I would say like halfway through, like I was like slowing down. Like, man, I was like, holy shit, this is like it's catching up to me already.
Yes.
So I don't, shout out to those, dude. Shout out to competitive eaters, man. I have no idea how they do it. I have a big appetite, but my God, it's crazy, right? It is crazy. So, all right, tonight we're talking football, man. We're talking football. I always say I don't have a lot. I don't think I have a lot tonight, but I have some. I know.
You did that,
3 hours.
Yeah,
right?
3 hours. The last time you said that, so I what am I saying?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to kind of speed it through a little bit tonight. So let's get to the first thing. So we do got some Bill stuff. We got some NFL stuff we'll go through. And then we have the Ask AI about Bill's Mafia. By the way, there's not many people here tonight. I understand that as far as chat goes. I know you guys are out with your families and out doing your thing. So that's all right. You guys can always, hopefully you guys catch the replay. But yeah, if you guys are watching, join in on the chat. But yeah, later on we'll have the Bills Mafia Ask AI. And then we also do the Real Men of Genius every show now at the end. It's just so fun. Do you remember those, by the way? Real Men of Genius or no?
Yeah.
So funny. All right, so let's get to the first topic, which is from Bill's Wire. Shout out to Bill's Wire. I always get some info from them. It's the questions and concerns by the offense. Last week, Jarek, we did defense. It was me and Aramis. Because Mikey, by the way, no Mikey tonight either because he's with family, which I totally understand. Last week he had a problem at work, so Mikey will be back next weekend. But that's why you know Mikey tonight. But anyways, here's the offense. Last week we did the defense, so let's see. We'll go through this. A shout out once again to Bill's Wire. How will the James Cook drama play out? All right, so we won't have to read it all, but how do you think this is going to play out?
I don't think it's gonna be that much of drama. I think this is gonna. I think he's made his position pretty clear at this point. I don't, like you said before, he's not gonna skip camp because that's losing money, and that's one thing that he, especially at a position like running back is, money is extremely valuable for that position. You just never know. So you want to try as much as you possibly can. Does he want this to happen? No. If it was up to him, he would have got paid. But the fact of the matter is, the Buffalo Bills are not willing to pay him the type of money that he wants. I don't blame the party for it because if I was James Cook, I would do the exact same thing if I was in his shoes. But the Bills they want team friendly contracts. Every player that got paid, every player that got paid had a team friendly contract. Everyone.
Yep.
We pay our young players. We rarely will let our young players go. We always pay them, except for James Cook. So Gabe Davis was another player, but again, it's like, Gabe Davis didn't. I mean, we were not going to pay him that much money for a number 2 receiver. Not to mention at all. Not to mention that I think we were ready to move on from Gabe. James Cook is one of the most vital pieces to this offense. What we saw from last year. You go back. You go back and watch some of his tape, especially what he was able to do in the playoffs. He was a crucial part of that offense and to why we were able to be in the position that we were in. And we should have gave him the ball more. I don't care if he was hurt or not. He wanted to be in the game. We should have gave him that ball in that final drive. That could have been that's the drive right there that could have won us the game if we just would have gave him the ball more. So we understand how important he is. He understands how important that he is. Both sides just can't come to an agreement. And so the off season, James Cook, we're either going to pay James Cook or he's going to be a free agent because I don't think we're going to franchise tag him because that's too much money against the cap. We're just about to get out of cap hell. We got to extend offensive linemen. If it was up to me, pay the offensive lineman first. So, James Cook, it's not going to be that much drama, honestly. The media will try to make it out to be. Obviously, Hard Knocks will make that a main focal point.
Oh, yeah.
But, James Cook, the Bills, they're going to try to downplay it as much as they possibly can. We as Bills fans, we know what the deal is. He's going to play. He's going to practice. He's going to play. There will not be a holdout.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, to me, James Cook is kind of betting on himself. He's going to play, right? And here's the deal. And we talked about this briefly last week, me and Aramis. So here's how I see the James Cook whole contract thing and everything. James Cook has rushed for, I think he rushed for about 1,100 yards in 2023, if I'm not mistaken, around there. And 2024, he barely cracked 1,000. Now, the difference was, and we're talking about consistency, was the touchdowns. Let's be real. Like that is when we talk James Cook, when most people talk James Cook, it's about the touchdowns that he did. He went from 6, I believe, in 2023 to 18 in 2024. That's a major jump. Now, for him to get that again, and this year, I would say it's probably not going to happen. But if he can come close to that, as far as touchdowns go, double digits, then I would say, okay, you know what? it's worth looking at paying James Cook. Maybe not the 15, but on a consistency level, because here's the deal. I don't think James Cook will ever be used, as far as most RB1s are, as far as snap counts go. He's not a 3-down back, right? And that's because he doesn't pass protect well. Can he be used somewhere else? Sure. Would they use him in a different system? Let's say if he went to another team, would he get more, usage? Maybe. And maybe that's what he's looking for. I don't know. But here, I don't see James Cook ever being like a 1,500-yard back, right? I see him in that 1,200 range max, right? Around there, right? On a consistent level, which is fine, but it's the touchdowns. Can he match or get close to what he did last year? And I think that's what he's kind of betting himself on, because he had a lot of home run runs, right? Not all of them were in the red zone. So that's where I'm at, right? So if he can, and I think Bean looks at it the same way. I think Bean's going to watch what he does, and then he's going to determine on that. But last week, Aramis did say, per his sources, that they are still kind of talking now, and the number did go higher from the original offer from Brandon Bean. So that's good if they are kind of starting to that negotiation process again. But we'll see. I'm not comfortable at the 15. I got to be honest with you. I'm still at that 9.5 to 12 with incentives. You know what I mean? I'm around that range because I still think you could find a back in the draft who has speed. And you can utilize him because, look, man, James Cook relies on his speed. He like that. That's what he does. He's down. Has he gotten better between the tackles? Yes. Has he gotten stronger? Yes. Right. Contact balance has gotten a little better. Yes. But he's not a top 3 back, not a top 5 back. He doesn't have a lot of moves in his arsenal. He doesn't do a lot of spins, doesn't do hurdles. Like, he relies on his speed. You give him a little bit of blockage and he can take that ball to the house. But you can find running backs that have that, right? If your offensive line is good, they can create space. There's a plenty of running backs with speed in every draft. So I just want to throw that out there. And I think that's how Brandon Bean feels. And I think they're going to wait and see what he does as far as the touchdowns go this year. If he can kind of come close to that, I could see a contract being around 12 with the incentives. And I'll be okay with that if he can come close to what he did last year as far as touchdowns. If he doesn't, let's say this year he gets 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns. Then you know what? I'm letting him go. Like, I'm letting him walk and sign somewhere else. You know what I mean? I'm not giving him up to 12. I'm just not, right? That's not, to me, it's not worth it. You can find a running back in the draft. You can go with Ray Davis as RB1 for a couple years. And whoever you draft, have him sit behind Ray Davis. By the way, Ty Johnson, love him. But I don't know if he'll be here next year. You know what I mean? What did we sign him for? A 1 year or 2 year deal? Ty. We got him 3 years, but we probably keep him 2, right? If we sign him to a 3, that's usually how it works. But we'll see. But he's still not a RB2. I think Ty Johnson will always be in that 3 down, the third back role, which is fine. But that's how I feel about the James Cook situation. I like the guy. I think he's a hell of a player. I'm on the fence about paying him big money. You know what I mean? So, and really, honestly, Jarek, that goes for most running backs. I really just, I'm just not, I don't think it's wise to pay a running back big time money unless you're so dynamic. Because let's be real, the running backs that got paid, right? They're top elite running backs. You're not going to find those in the draft, right? Like, those are rare. Derrick Henry, you're not going to find a Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to find a Saquon Barkley every draft. You're going to find good running backs. There's a lot of good running backs, but those are elite. I get it. I get why teams will pay,
you're gonna have
what they're paying.
You're going to have to make that investment early, really early, like day 1, day 2. You're going to have to, mostly day 2, but that's where the top running backs mostly go in. But the special backs, seeing like this class, I think net class will be the exact same thing with Jeremiah Love. Like, you'll probably make that investment for day 1. But I mean, day 2 range is where you'll find really, really good running backs that will start. Exactly. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, I think James Cook is betting on himself that he'll get close to the touchdown mark, and
we'll see what at the end of the season. But I don't see a deal getting done in that 15 range. All right, next up, let's see here. Can Dalton Kincaid become one of the top receivers for the Bills? Ooh, that's a good question. Oh, man, you were quick to say that. So what's your thoughts on that?
No. The way that this offense is structured, this offense is not suited for Dalton Kincaid. If he was on the Arizona Cardinals, right now, I think that he would put up maybe not the exact same production as Trey McBride, because I think Trey McBride is a better receiving tight end than Kincaid. But he'll get you at least 700, 800 yards. I think he's a 700, 800 yard receiver. I think he's a guy that specializes on short to intermediate routes. He's not someone though that we can utilize deep through the deep ball. And that's one of his biggest problems. His hands in terms of strength and in terms of strength contact is not good. It's not that good at all. He's not. Again, you don't have to be a good or you don't have to be a great blocking tight end. We just need you to be average. Kincaid he's not average. That's the problem. That's why that's why he can't be a 3-down receiver. A 3-down tight end. And the way that we utilize in the way that most NFL offenses utilize receiving tight ends is if they become a focal point of the offense. Dalton Kincaid isn't the focal point of this offense, and I don't think he ever will be within this offense. I think we want more of a more balanced approach. We're gonna establish the running game. We're gonna start utilizing our outside and inside threats at receiver. Kincaid will be used. He just won't be used to a point where you would think that to the first round receiver quality that we drafted him for. If we would have drafted Kincaid in the 3rd or 4th round, I would not have any issue at all with the production that he's having right now. But the problem with him is that he's a 1st round pick, and and that can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, give me 1 second. Okay,
no problem.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is that we drafted him as a 1st round tight end, and the production that Trey McBride, Travis Kelce, Brock Bowers is getting, he's not that tight end. He's not Sam Laporta, because Laporta, he had a little bit of a fall off in terms of receiving production, but Sam Laporta is a red zone threat. That's not Dalton Kincaid. Kincaid's not a red zone threat. So he's really a high target, high volume sort of player that we don't use. We don't use our tight ends in high value. We really, if anything, the perfect tight end that fits this offense is a Dawson Knox like receiver. It's a tight end that you can use up the seam, that you can use on the deep ball, that has reliable hands. That's a great blocker, someone that can be a 3-down player. Yes, he's not the greatest route runner in the world, right? He's not a guy that you can utilize on short to intermediate routes on a more consistent basis, but he's a much more reliable target within this offense based off of how the Buffalo Bills use tight ends and the structure of this offense. Kincaid does not fit this offense, plain and simple. And the way that they want Kincaid to be, which is a much bigger, stronger tight end. Listen, you saw those photos of Kincaid. I think he put on the weight. I think he put on some muscle mass, but it doesn't look like he did because he has a slim frame. He has a slim frame, right? He has a slim frame as a tight end. So he'll never be the tight end that the Buffalo Bills want him to be. If in order for Dalton Kincaid to live up to expectations, we have to play to his strengths. And the one thing that I think that we did that 2 years earlier that Ken Dorsey, and I'll give Ken Dorsey a little bit of credit. The one thing I think Ken Dorsey did before he got fired was that when Kincaid started to get a little bit of rolling, he started to get high target value. Then Joe Brady kind of followed it up because this was still Ken Dorsey's offense. And we started to utilize him with, what was he getting? Like 9, 10, 11 targets. But he was getting 8 catches, but like 50, 60, or 70 yards. That's Kincaid. He is a high volume player. The more you feed him, the more you utilize him on the routes that he specializes in, the better he's going to be. That's not the offense, though, that the Buffalo Bills is. Dawson Knox, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Dawson Knox should be the starting tight end of this team. He should be the starting.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm definitely with you on the Dawson Knox thing. I think Dawson Knox should get more opportunities. I think he fits the offense better. I think he's more rounded as a tight end on this offense, at least. I think like Dalton Kincaid would fit well with like Dallas. You know what I mean? Like, here's the deal with like, and you're right about the Ken Dorsey. I felt like when in that year when he was a rookie, Dawson Knox got hurt. And we weren't really doing a lot early with Kincaid, but then when Knox got hurt, Dorsey kind of opened it up more. He opened up his route tree more. And that's what Kincaid can do. Kincaid is a good route runner. And that's what his first year as rookie, that's why we had such promise, because you saw what he could do when he got the opportunity. But when Dorsey left or got fired, and Joe Brady took over, and Joe Brady has a style that he wants to run, which is everybody eats. It kind of took away from Kincaid's game. He also shortened up his route tree, which I don't like, but it is what it is. That's the way this offense operates. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna be. I think what you see is what you get right now on this offense. Now, could he be better somewhere else? Sure, he could. It depends on the system. Mike Gesicki is a great, a great weapon. He's not a great blocking tight end, but he's used in a way where we could, which benefits him, right? As a tight end,
the more production he's going to give you.
Exactly.
When Tyreek Hill was hurt, what happened? Jonnu Smith, more target, more target there with Waddle, more volume, and look what happened. Jonnu Smith is, became a Pro Bowl level tight end. That's Kincaid. He's a high volume player, and we don't use tight ends that way.
We don't. Jeff Lombardo coming in, man, just got done watching that 35-3 comeback Bills in Houston. It still gets me hyped. Let's go, Bills. Yeah, dude, that game I'll never forget because I was super young. I was probably, I don't even remember my age, but I was a diehard fan. Like, I never left my couch. I still, to this day, like, it ain't over till it says 0. And that's including when we're up, right? Like, I never go, hey, we got this in the bag. I do not do that, right? So I refused to get off the couch. I was at home watching. I lived in South Florida at the time. And I remember my mom's boyfriend was talking so much shit. No, he wasn't. I'll take that back. He was talking a little shit, but he kind of felt bad because he saw I was like pissed off, upset. But he was like, oh, it's over. He left. He stopped watching, went in another room, and I refused to stop. I refused, man. I'm like, I'm gonna go down with the ship. And slowly but surely, the Buffalo Bills just started getting some touchdowns. And before you know it, I'm like, holy shit, this thing is turning around. And man, epic comeback. Great. Loved it. I'm glad I did not miss a second of it. Like, I'll forever remember that memory, even though I wasn't at the game. I stayed tuned to the TV. And I'm sure a lot of Bills Mafia also stopped watching. Like, even if they're at home, I'm sure there was there's a lot of fans that probably turned the channel and they were like, or went out and said, fuck it, the game's over. And sure enough, it wasn't. It was a great comeback. It was awesome. But yeah, let's see here. First round flop. I don't know if he's going to be first round flop, but right now, I mean, that's the thing. I think he's better than he's like Jarek said. I think he can do better in a different kind of style offense. So it's going to suck, to be honest with you, if he winds up leaving and he winds up doing really good in someone else's offense, because we're going to have to, some of us will eat those words, right? Like, maybe he doesn't suck after all. You know what I mean? Like, it just, maybe this system just doesn't fit him well enough to get what we expect or what we thought we would expect from our first round player that we drafted up for, that we actually traded up for. Dorsey was the OC when Kincaid was drafted. Maybe he's not the best fit under Brady. That's where we're going. Like, under Brady's system. Remember, even this goes for defense too. There's defensive players that leave here and shine, right? The scheme. It's all about scheme, right? And some players don't do well in certain schemes. Some players do better somewhere else in different player schemes. So I think Kincaid falls into that. But we'll see. He's here. We're not going to get rid of him. He's going to go through his rookie contract, and then they'll probably let him walk. You know what I mean? And curious what they do at tight end moving forward after that. If they draft another one, which I assume they will. We drafted one this year, but he's more of a blocking tight end. But would they go that route again of a Kincaid type? We'll see. I think it all depends who's our OC at the time when we go to make that decision. If we draft a tight end a little earlier in the draft. All right, let's get to the next one. How will the wide receiver room play out? So go ahead, Jarek. I'll let you go first. How will the wide receiver room play out?
I think it's going to work out very well for this team if we stay healthy. If we don't stay healthy, then we're going to be in the exact same situation that we were last year, which is not that bad of a situation because thankfully we have a great offensive line and a running game that can take some of that pressure off of Josh. But I expect this to be an upgrade. I think we have 5 valuable weapons, and we'll see what Prather and Shavers can do. I'm hoping that Prather can at least challenge for a roster spot, just in case. But I like Elijah Moore a lot. Elijah Moore has been as a receiver 3/4 quality player. He's been pretty productive on that role. He is I think he's more of a vertical slot receiver. I think he has more quickness, more agility than I think you could expect. A lot of people are kind of comparing him to play that Isaiah McKenzie role. He can do it. I just don't think that suits him best. I think he's a field stretcher. He's got a lot of speed. He's like 25. He's about to be 26. He still has got that youthfulness about him. We haven't had let's be honest though. We haven't the last consistent field stretcher that we had was Emmanuel Sanders. I'm not even going to count Gabe Davis because Gabe Davis is more of a possession receiver. We just forced him to play a role that he's not that good at. In my personal opinion, I think we kind of underutilized Gabe in a way. We play him in a role that he shouldn't have played in the first place. But more that he's more of a John Brown caliber of player, an Emmanuel Sanders caliber of player. And the good thing about it is that Josh Palmer is the exact same caliber. I think Curtis Samuel, who's more of a Swiss Army knife, kind of utility weapon, he has that capability because we all know he's got that capability. He's a little bit older. I'm not saying he's got 4.3 speed. He's got 4.4 speed, and he can definitely. And we've seen how in that playoff game against the Broncos, he can definitely stretch the field. So we got 3 guys that are capable of doing it. Keon Coleman's going to be more of your. Again, he's your X. He can be your X guy, but he's more of a possession caliber receiver. He's a big body sort of guy that I pray and hope we utilize him more in the slot. That's another reason why I think Dalton Kincaid is not going to work out, is because we got too many players that's best strength is in the slot, and that's Kincaid's best strength. So that's another reason why I think he's going to have to be a downgrade. But we need to start utilizing Keon Coleman more, and I think that's exactly why you bring in Josh Palmer, you bring in Elijah Moore. We have a lot more versatility in the receiving room that I think we've had probably since 2021. It's just about health. I think we can afford one to be hurt and one to be injured. I don't think you can afford 2 though.
I'm with you.
Because now if you afford 2 key injuries at receiver, that means you push Kincaid out. So we'll really get to see if Kincaid can be the guy, because his reps in the slot or lined up out in the slot is gonna be a lot more. But again, the death really the last 3 years are one of the biggest reasons why we've been in the position that we've been in. We need key depth. We need guys that can threaten the opposing defense. So I like this receiver room. I think it's one of the biggest upgrades that no one's really talking about, despite NFL fans talking about how we should have just drafted more weapons, despite us investing in the receiver position a lot more times. But I like the receiver room. I think it's an upgrade, and hopefully these guys can stay healthy.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think it's well-rounded, actually. I think, by the way, Get Off My Lawn says hopefully Curtis Samuel steps up this year. I felt bad for him in a way last year. He had that turf toe. Turf toe is, dude, guys, if you don't know, that is it don't sound like, oh, well, come on, your toe. Man, that's a brutal injury. It's tough to play on. And I just think that really was a setback for him. You saw as the season went on, though, especially going into the playoffs, that he was getting healthier and he was feeling better. And his number, you could tell his stats were going up. He was getting involved a little bit more in the offense. They were getting him involved more. So I expect him to have a better year this year. But like Jarek said, if he's healthy, and that's like for every player, right? And that's the one thing the Buffalo Bills have a little bad luck at is health, right? Injuries on both sides of the ball. But I'm with you. Like, I feel like this wide receiver room isn't getting enough love from Bills Mafia. I think it's well-rounded. I think we got enough speed. Like, this isn't like a slow wide receiver room. There's a lot of speed in that room. The one thing I will say, though, that I felt like Joe Brady didn't do that great in last year, and maybe because it was his first year, maybe because he didn't want to do too much, was he didn't showcase his receivers well. Like he didn't understand how to use his player strengths, right? To the advantage of the offense, right? You got the speed. You got Curtis Samuel, who's a Swiss Army knife. Now, mind you, he was a little banged up, but he can play running back. He can move all over, slot, outside. We didn't really do that a lot. We didn't do any jet sweeps. We didn't get anybody, we didn't do anything to utilize the guys that we had to the advantage, right? What makes them special on offense. This is his second year, right? And I'm hoping he opens up his playbook a little more, understands what he has, because now you have Elijah Moore, who's that speedster. And by the way, like I said, we have other guys of speed, but now you could start to be more creative on offense with what you got. You have enough weapons that do something special, right? They all got something special in their arsenal. So I just hope he understands player strengths and weaknesses, right? And starts getting a little bit more creative on offense now that you have a wide variety of players that could do a little bit of everything really good, right? So that's what I'm hoping for on the Joe Brady offense with these receivers. Don't get so predictable. Start mixing it up a little bit. Start putting guys in, Keon Coleman in slot from time to time. You know what I mean? A little stuff like that I wish he would have done last year that he really didn't do, right? He didn't get creative enough, I felt, with the wide receiver room that we had last year. Now, like I said, this is a new year. This is Joe Brady's second year with the Buffalo Bills, and I also feel like Sean McDermott has a little bit to do with that too. I felt like Sean McDermott handcuffed Joe Brady a little bit. You saw Joe Brady try to do a trick play, which, by the way, was terrible against Baltimore, right? Backfired. Awful. But you never saw it again. You never saw Joe Brady attempt another trick play. And I'm not saying he should do trick plays all season, but you could see and you could tell that Sean McDermott probably talked to him and said, don't ever do that shit again. And as a new offensive coach, that you're trying to remain, you're going to listen to your head coach and you're not going to do those kind of plays again, which I don't want my coordinator, thinking that way. I want my coordinator to be a little bit more creative, to take chances from time to time. So I'm hoping that Sean McDermott, takes the handcuffs off, right? So we'll see what happens with Joe Brady this season. I think he will. But we'll find out. But I do like the wide receiver room. I do. Somebody mentioned Keon Coleman. Roy says he's still on the fence with Coleman. Listen, I said it last year, Roy, and you guys know. You guys watch my channel. Those that do, Roy, you're here almost every Friday and Monday. I said it when we drafted Keon Coleman. He's not going to have a great first year. I told you guys this. He's going to have an okay year his first year. He needs some work, but by year 2 or 3, you're going to start seeing Keon Coleman's numbers get better and better. Like, I just believe that. I thought he was a little raw, right? And he's a player that he needed a little bit of work, and he's going to get that. And it seems like he's putting the work in the offseason. And I think the coaches are going to, training camp's going to be important, obviously. And I think you'll see a better Keon Coleman year 2. You will. I didn't even think he had a terrible year last year. I thought it was about what I expected. If he doesn't get injured, the numbers are a little bit higher. So I didn't think they were terrible. So we'll see what happens this year. This is a big year for him. If he's healthy, let's see what he does. But he seems like he's putting the work in. So I'm not going to go there yet with Keon, saying Keon's not the guy yet. Or he won't be the guy. He was a bad pick. I think Keon is a 2 to 3 year guy where you're going to start seeing some results. By year 3, you'll start seeing really the best of Keon Coleman. I think this year you're going to see a little bit better production. Will he ever be a 1? I don't think so, but who knows? I that's up to him. What kind of work he puts in. So, but I like him. I like him, and I think he can. I think he can be good on this offense. Sophia coming with the super chat. Let me hit the You know I got you, Sophia.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That up. Thank you so much, Sophia. Happy 4th, Tommy. God bless America. Yes, God bless America. Thank you so much, Sophia, for rocking with us tonight. Roy Coleman was the one receiver I was hoping Bean won a draft. So maybe I'm biased. I picked Roy. I picked Keon Coleman when we drafted him. I said we were going to draft Keon Coleman. I liked Keon Coleman. I just wish that Bean drafted another receiver in that draft. There was a ton. I felt like he could have gotten another receiver later on with some speed. But he didn't. Huh?
I want to Lad McConkey. Keon was my number 2, but Lad,
I get it.
I understood we had Khalil Shakir, man, but Lad, from what I was, man, he was in a perfect. That's another security, man. It is, I don't know. It is what it is.
We'll see.
I'm not mad about Keon. I'm not mad about that pick at all. He was my number 2 option.
I'll say this too, though. Receivers, that's another position that every draft there's a lot of. Every draft, right? Like you could find a receiver even in round 2, 3, 4, 5. That has value. That can contribute. It could even be possibly a 1. Like it happens all the time. There's a ton of them. And that's the same as running backs. Quarterbacks is the slim pickings. Those are usually you got to get early on, right? It's rare that you're going to find a good quarterback late in the draft, right? It happens here and there, but receivers, I feel like the speed, especially with speed, you're seeing in those 40 times now, everybody's getting a 4.4 now. It seems like all these receivers are running a 4.4 or 4.3. Like it's not anything special anymore. These guys are fast, man. So you can get speed. I told you she gonna go crazy. Sorry guys, it's July 4th. Let's see here. So let's get to the next one. All right, you relax. Can the offensive line repeat its great season?
Yeah. Yep. As long she agrees with me too. Yeah, as long as Cromer's our offensive line coach, I have no worries that we're not going to be at least a top 10 offensive line. We have one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL who understands how to utilize the physical intangibles of this team. Obviously, I think from the mental perspective, we obviously have that rooted down to a T. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I think our second group of offensive linemen could start anywhere in the National Football League right now. I love our offensive tackle depth.
Yep.
I thought if this is why for me, if McGovern leaves, we got the replacement. We got the replacement. We got the center from Georgia. I'm very confident.
SVP, right? Van Pran
Van Pran Granger put on 10 pounds of muscle. That was the one complaint that a lot of people had was that he was a little underweight. Put 10 pounds of muscle on. Listen, I will not be surprised at all if that dude ends up being the starter. I wouldn't be surprised if Grable, if we extend Grable or resign, or I don't know if this is last year's contract, but I wouldn't be surprised at all that if Edwards goes, if we push Grable to guard, because Grable can start right now to tackle. He is good right now as a tackle, right? If he to start as a tackle. The problem is we got Spencer Brown, we got Deion Dawkins. So I love the depth of this offensive line group. The rookie from Connecticut, that's literally a Cromer guy. That's if you describe what Cromer wants, which are tall, quick-footed offensive linemen. That's exactly. Van Pranger. He's not tall, but for a center, he is tall, like 6'3", around that height, which is is ideal. But he's got quick feet, very very explosive off the jump. You look at a guy like Hunt, you look at Brown. You look at some of the guys that are on this offensive line. All of them are quick-footed. All of them are explosive. So they may not be the most powerful, right? It's Cyrus Torrance, who's an exception. Like Torrance is an exception, but Torrance has a get off. Like what I'm saying? Like Torrance has a get off. That dude's a beast. Yeah. And once you count on you, man, it's that's a wrap. The end of the rep. But I like the depth of this offensive line. I'm not concerned at all. It's the one area group where and thankfully we've been healthy. Hopefully that can continue.
Knock on wood. Right. Knock on wood.
Like 2 years in a row, we've been healthy. But it's the one group where I'm like, you know what? If we do have some people, because Spencer Brown went down, what happened? Grable came in, we didn't miss a beat. I mean, we actually got better because we actually scored in the drive where Brown actually got hurt on. So I'm very confident. We got great coaching. We got great coaching in that area. Everybody want to talk about that. We need to retain Brady. No, we need to retain Cromer. That's the guy. Well, how much money do you need?
Bro,
I'll pay anything you want.
Dude, I'm with you. Like, it's not a coincidence, guys. Like, and nobody. It's weird. You're totally right, and I've been on with this too. Like, Cromer should get way more love than he's gotten. Bro, OG Bobby Johnson, no bueno, terrible, bad. He never made any player better under him. I didn't see any player, any offensive lineman, a young offensive line. He just wasn't a good offensive line coach. I didn't see anything that made Bobby Johnson a good offensive line coach. I knew about Cromer. Cromer used to be offensive line coach here. He was great in New Orleans. He was offensive line coach of the year, I believe, a couple seasons. He's known to be one of the best offensive line coaches around the league. And there's no surprise. We got him year one. The offensive line got better instantly. And he didn't even have his stamp on it yet because year one, he didn't have a lot of say right away on who they're going to draft. We didn't have Torrance yet. He was just getting familiar with the players. And by the way, Spencer Brown, same thing. He didn't really have time to work with him because Spencer Brown had the back surgery. But you saw the results. Spencer Brown came in the very following year, healthy, worked with Spencer Brown, got the one-on-ones. And Spencer Brown now is one of the best, right? One of the best. And Osiris Torrance was drafted. Bro, like, yes, he deserves so much credit. You do not want that guy leaving the building. He is a great offensive line coach. The proof is there. Like, the proof is there. So keep Cromer around as long as possible. Joe Brady, listen, guys, I know it's like unpopular opinion. I'm still on the fence with him. I'm still on the fence. I want to see more, right? There's some things about him I didn't like last year, right? So we'll see. I want to see what he does this year with this new wide receiver room, or at least the added weapons we got. I felt like he was a little bit too predictable at times last year. I want to see changes from Joe Brady. I want to see him open up more. I want to see him be more creative more. So I'm on the fence right now when it comes to Joe Brady. I like him, but I'm not one of these fans that are like, Joe Brady is the mastermind offensive coordinator out there. He's the best in the league. Listen, I would pump the brakes there. We were a good offense, but we also have Josh Allen, the MVP. You know what I mean? Like, of course, anytime you got the best quarterback in the NFL, you're going to be up there in offense. So I just feel like he can do better. So I'm not saying he was bad last year by any means, but I feel like he can be a better offensive coordinator. But he's still young. So we'll see what happens this year. But it's like Cromer, he's a vet, offensive line coach. He's proven, he's shown that he could be the best, and it's showing here. So I'm with you. All right, next up. And by the way, I totally agree with that. What happens if Josh Allen gets hurt? We're just going to skip that because we already know the answer. All right.
Top 5 pick. Top 5 pick. I mean, there is some exciting news. Hey, top 5 pick,
Hey, Tommy and Jance. Is this Scott Blakely? Hey, Tommy and Jance. Hope you both have. Hope you both well. Oh, I get what you're saying. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, Scott Blakely. Roy Collins, I dread the day when Allen is no longer a quarterback. Listen, that day won't happen until he retires. Like that, like he's going to be a Buffalo Bill for life, more than likely.
I dread the day when he's out of his prime, which is probably honestly.
That could happen. That could happen. Yeah, because of his style.
I think after 33, it's over. He's out of his prime, and he'll still be a really good quarterback.
Sure,
right? But this extremely athletic quarterback that's.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just like he's going to change his game. He's going to change. He's going to have to.
He's going to have to, or he's going to fall in the Cam Newton category, where he was great for a certain period of time, and injuries and just the style of play started to weigh down on them. So I'm with you, and he's going to have to learn eventually how to change his style of play in time if he wants to stay a good quarterback in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, and I believe they will. You know, I believe they can make that happen because they're going to eventually have to, right? Even Big Ben early in his career, you saw that, like you know where he was rushing, but you saw in the towards the end there, he wasn't the same Big Ben, right? Like, yeah, I'm with you. But he's still in his prime. Yeah. Yep. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But listen, we need to get this done we need to get this ring while Allen's in his prime. No doubt about it. Like put it this way. The chances Allen wins a ring like Peyton did, boy, you better have the greatest offensive line and a fucking unbelievable defense to make up for it. You know what I mean?
In the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's it. But you saw when Peyton won with Denver, his first year they didn't win. You know, that was his best year with Denver. His second year, Peyton struggled, got hurt. Right, it wasn't the same Peyton, but the defense was special. Right, and the offensive line was still good enough to give him a little time where Peyton still could be effective. You know what I mean? And they won a Super Bowl, right? But that's like that just doesn't happen a lot. You know what I mean? So
that's we're talking 85 Chicago Bears, 2000. I can't even say because Russell Wilson was actually good. He was really good in 2013. It's just the way that they utilize him. Like he was more of a game managing quarterback, but he was extremely effective with both his legs, and his arm. He would make clutch plays. Manning was terrible. That 2015 year was terrible. He wasn't the same. He literally had no juice, no pop at all in his arm. He was terrible. The Super Bowl he played well enough, but it's just like you compared to what he was 2 years ago when he had that 5,500-yard season and 60 touchdowns. It wasn't like what. It's just it was the injuries, and so
I'm with you.
You're right. Like, I mean, we got to have a 2000 Baltimore Ravens or 2002 Buccaneers defense in order for that to happen. It's not. It does not happen.
Even the Broncos with Elway when he won. Elway was not the Elway of the 80s or 90s. When he won those, I'm not saying he was bad or anything.
No, he was good.
He was still good. Yeah, he was good, but he wasn't in his. I wouldn't say he was like the great John Elway. But that team, but that team was well rounded. He had a great running back, great defense, good offense. Like that was a very well rounded Denver Bronco team, very well rounded. And I just feel like. What would you say? Would you say this current team is well-rounded?
Yeah, I would say. I would say on paper right now, from a talent perspective, I think we are a little bit. I think we're a little bit more well-rounded than we were. Definitely, way more than I think than we were last year. I think we got a little bit more depth on the defensive line on paper. I think secondary
younger
on paper. We're definitely more younger. It just sucks that we're at. I mean, again, we're at this point now. Josh Allen's still in his prime. Why weren't we doing this shit 3 to 4 years ago? Is my question. It's like, why did it take us this long for us to actually start to get like quality depth players with the physical tangible set, but also has that high upside? Because we have players with low floors, or we have players that were extremely raw that had that high ceiling, but it was going to take them 2 to 3 years in order for them to get there. We've got players that I think within the next 2 years could very well be extremely productive. I think there's 3 rookies on this team right now that can be extremely productive. Why when we were doing this shit before 3 to 4 years ago, I have no idea. Why we didn't get a one tap, I have no idea. Besides this year.
Cycle Jockey, happy 4th, boys. Go Bills, go Bills. Appreciate you rocking with us tonight, man. You know why? I honestly think 2020, when we went to the AFC Championship game, I felt like, and I could be wrong, but I felt like they thought they could just continue to run it back, and they were going to get there again, right? They Josh Allen was that special. They didn't need to. They could keep putting Band-Aids on the offensive line. Like they didn't. That's the one area it took them a while to get, like, to understand, like, offensive line matter. Like, you got to get a good offensive line in the NFL in order for your team to be productive on offense. It really does. It starts in the trenches. If you don't have that, I don't care what quarterback you have. You got a bad offensive line or mediocre, you're not going to go very far in the NFL. You're just not. Your offense is going to struggle. And I felt like 2020 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, we just kept putting Band-Aids on the offensive line. 1-year player, we signed a 1-year guy, put him on the, next to Deion Dawkins. All right, now he's gone. Now we signed somebody else. Now we get Feliciano. Now we're putting Feliciano here at center. Like, we just kept mixing. It was bad. I just felt like McDermott and Bean didn't quite understand that was such an important position that they weren't paying attention to. And finally, they started paying attention. And I believe that's when they fired Bobby Johnson. They knew they needed to get an offensive line, a good coach. They got Brungen Cromer. They drafted Osiris Torrance. They signed McGovern. They started to actually get younger on the offensive line. Spencer Brown, you know what I mean? Came around because of Cromer. So you're seeing it.
If we somehow, some way make it to the Super Bowl, and we're 90, again, everyone's going to be hurt, everyone's going to be injured, but they're not going to be overly injured. That's the point. If we make it to the Super Bowl and we make it because we actually, for the first time, have a more healthier roster, you know what we did during this offseason? We fired our strength and conditioning coach. We fired our nutritionist.
And we did.
We literally we fired all the assistants. We literally replaced an entire staff with our medical, sports, and science team. Why didn't we do that years ago? Because we kept the same people around for years. All these injuries started to happen late in the season, and all of a sudden we finally make a move. That's my problem that's my biggest issue with the McDermott Bean era. We're so late to things. And addressing
I'm with you.
To the point right away.
Yes. It's like I said, the run it back thing. They almost ran it back with their special teams coach again. They almost did not fire him. Remember, McDermott was like, no, he's going to stay. And everyone's like, what? Right? And then they fired him a month later, right? Or something like that. But it's what are you doing? We all see it. What, you are the NFL head coach. How do you not see this? We all see it. The dumbest Bills fan sees that this guy's not a good special teams coach. How are you not seeing it? I don't get it. But he finally got it. And I don't know if maybe somebody else got it over Sean McDermott and said, hey, Sean, maybe we're doing it wrong here. We got to change this. So thank God he did. Roy, let's not forget about Brian Winters. How about Bobby Hart? I mean, there were so many bad offensive linemen that came through here. Cody Ford was a bad draft. I still don't. I don't even want to talk about the bad decisions we had at offensive line. It was in defensive line, right? Yeah, it's Luke Tenuta. I mean, just some of the moves, and I get it. Luke Tenuta, late pick, but waste of a pick. We all knew it. I mean, if you're gonna waste a pick, do it on somebody that has a more higher ceiling. You know what I mean? At least has something special to him. Luke Tenuta was never gonna make this team. Anyways, I got the next topic. So we can get through this podcast. We're 52 minutes in. How many Bills drives ended in punt or turnover in 2024? So before we go through this, take a guess. Chat, take a guess, and go ahead, Jarek. What do you think here? What do you think we rank as far as 32 teams? Where do you think we land here? Drives ended in punt or turnover in 2024. Now, obviously, it's giving you a clue. We're among the best.
Yeah.
Where do we land?
So
top 5, top 10.
Yeah, I'll say top 5.
So you're going around the top 5. Okay, so chat, before we get there, go ahead and put in the chat. Go ahead and put your answer. Where do you think the Bills land? There's your clue, right? Bills among NFL's best. So go ahead and let me know where you guys think the Bills land.
It might be top 3.
So are you going to stick with top 3? So Roy's going top. Roy's saying 3rd overall. Okay, that's a good answer. So let's see. From worst to first. Worst, Cleveland Browns. Right. Some of these are probably going to be no surprise to us, right? Right. Sure. So Browns the worst. The Titans coming in at 31. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see the percentage. So Browns, 70% that ended in punt and turnover. That's terrible, right? That is bad. Titans coming in at 31, 62%. Giants coming in at 30th, 62%. Bad. I mean, these are, but we know that we kind of saw this coming, right? With so far, the Bears coming in at 61%. The Panthers, I'm surprised that they're this bad, 59%. But they did get better at the end of the year. The Jaguars, 58%. The Patriots, 58%. The Saints coming in at 25th, 57%. The Seahawks, 57%. The Colts, 23rd. They're coming at 56%. The Cowboys at number 22, 56%. The Raiders, 21, 55%. The Jets, 20th, 54%. The Broncos, 54%. Texans, 52%. The Dolphins at 17. They're coming in at 51%. The Steelers, 16th, 50%. The Rams, 15, 50%. Cardinals coming at 14, 48%. The Chiefs, does this surprise you? With the Chiefs coming in at 13, that they're not in the top 10? No? Okay.
They
okay.
A lot. That defense saved them.
Okay. All right. So they're coming in 13th at 47%. Number 12 is the Chargers, 46%. The Packers, 11 at 45%. Okay, here comes the top 10. Top 10. Number 10, the Falcons, 45%. Are you surprised there?
No, their offense was actually pretty decent. The problem was quarterback. If they just had decent quarterback play, that's a playoff team.
Okay. All right. Coming in at number 9, the Bengals, 45%.
That surprised me. I thought I would think the Bengals would be in the top
5. So they're not. They didn't crack the top 5. They're 9. Number 8, 49ers. Does that surprise you at 45%?
Yeah, it surprises me. I thought they were in the top 15.
Okay. Buccaneers. Does that surprise you? It's coming at 7.
Very balanced offense.
Yeah, I agree. 43%. Vikings, number 6. That doesn't surprise me. 43%. The Eagles, number 5. So they're in the top 5. 41%. So here we go. Top 5. So we know the Eagles are 5th. Number 4, the Ravens.
All right, so we
40. Yep, 40%. So the Bills have cracked the top 5. Number 3, the Lions coming in at number 3, 39%. Number 2, our Buffalo Bills coming in at 39%. The number 1 team was the Commanders.
Wow.
At 38%.
That is surprising right there.
That is, right? Right.
That's a testament to Jaden Daniels. That's a testament to that's a huge testament to what was his name? The offensive coordinator. Who's the coach? Who's the offensive coordinator? Who's the guy that used to coach the Cardinals? With the God, what is his name? That's Cliff
Kingsbury. Yes, Cliff Kingsbury.
That's a huge testament to Cliff. Huge testament to definitely Jaden Daniels and.
Absolutely.
That's surprising because their running game sucked.
Right.
That is a huge testament.
For a rookie quarterback,
awesome.
I'm with you. So number 1, I did not see that. The Commanders coming at number 1 and drives ending in punt and turnover. They were the number 1 team, the best. They were the best last year. But the Bills were number 2. I mean, shout out to the Buffalo Bills too. I never even thought about looking up that looking at that. So shout out to Bills Wire because that was an interesting article there on that. So let's get to the next thing. Let's see here. We got one more Bills thing, and we're going to get to some NFL stuff. So let me share. Okay, here we go. We got the 2025 NFL offseason game by game predictions. So we're going to run through this. So you're going to agree or disagree. Chat, let us know. Agree or disagree. Here we go. Week 1 versus Baltimore. They have it as a loss prediction. 0-1. Jarek, you agree or disagree?
I agree. I think the Raiders are going to come in hungry.
Wow, in Buffalo Sunday night. Okay. So you agree with that. You think we start the season 0-1? I don't. I think we've played very well against the Ravens. We're at home. I will say this though, our openers are shaky sometimes. We lost to Pittsburgh one year when we should have blown, we were way better. We should have blown them out. But then we went against the Rams, who were the Super Bowl champions, and we blew them out. So we've had some games. We played the Jets. We did terrible. Right, we lost, right? So we've been up and down on week 1. So, but we usually play well against the Raiders. Like we should at home. I think we'll be okay. I think the question mark is offensively. Will the offense, this new offense, the new weapons gel? And really, you know what, too? I'll say that on the defensive side as well. Will the defensive line also gel? This new, younger defensive line, will that gel? Because there is some, obviously, questions going into that game on the defensive line, and then I would say on offense and our receiver room with the new guys that we got. Like, will they gel right away? Will this offense click right away? Right? Will Josh Allen and Elijah Moore have an early connection? With Josh Palmer, will he have that early, chemistry? You know what I'm saying? So that will all play a factor in that game. But if they do, I definitely can see us winning that game. I do. So Roy coming in, thumbs down. I don't know what that means. I don't know if he doesn't like your prediction or he's saying we lose. Roy, what does that mean? Thumbs down. You're not happy with Jared. Yeah, but week 1, they're saying a loss.
Yeah. I think they disagree with me on that one.
Right. So at New York Jets, week 2, they got us with the win. You're good with that? I'm pretty good with that.
It's gonna be closer than what people think, though. It's gonna be closer.
Okay, but you got the win. You're saying we win, but it'll be okay. Week 3 versus Monday night. Versus the Miami Dolphins on Thursday night. Win. They got us on a win. Yeah, win. I'm with you. The Saints, come on. All right. We should at home. They're a terrible team. I don't even know their quarterback. We should win. Home against the Patriots, Sunday Night Football. What do you think? They got us as a win.
Win.
Okay, so we're 4-1. So Jarek is cool with that. Jarek thinks this is about right. Let's see here. Roy says he disagrees with Bill's Wire. So I'm guessing he disagrees with week 1. So Roy, and I'm with you, Roy. I think we beat Baltimore. I think right now we're 5-0 after New England. But Jarek's going 4-1, which is still, by the way, a really good start. At Atlanta, they got us as a win. What do you think?
Win, but shootout.
Win, but shootout. Okay. That's a Monday Night Football. The week 7 bye so early. It's the only thing about the schedule I don't like.
Hate it.
Other than that, I love the schedule. It's just the early bye week. So not a fan of that. All right. So we're coming in off the bye 5-1 according to Bill's Wire. Week 8 at Carolina. They got us as a win. You good with that?
Yes, I'm good with the win.
All right. Week 9 versus the Chiefs. They're giving us a win at home. Ooh. Jarek's thinking about this one.
I'm going to say loss.
Okay.
And
we got 2 losses at home versus 2 big teams.
Believe it or not.
You think it's a good thing? Okay.
I think it's a good thing. I think we show our hand too much in those regular season games against the Chiefs. But I think that's a good thing we lose to Kansas City. Reverse the top.
I'll say this, though, Jarek. If we lost to Baltimore at home and we lost to the Chiefs at home,
it would be devastating.
It's not a very not even devastating. I would say what they're going to say, right? They're going to say the Buffalo Bills can't beat the
I don't really. Yeah, at this point.
No, I'm going to say that will be the.
They'll say it. As Bills fans, bro, we just got to get to the playoffs. But we really want the number 1 seed. That's the thing. That's why those losses will suck, because those are probably the top 2 teams.
Yes, and that absolutely right. But once again, it's regular season. If that's the case, we still got a good winning record. I still think we beat the Chiefs at home. I do. I think we're. Yep. I actually, we've played well against the Chiefs in the regular season, just not the playoffs, right? I mean, I'll take that back. We've actually played them well in the playoffs. We just can't finish the game. We just can't close the game out, right? Yeah. Right. So we play them good all the time. Let's be real. Like we're the arch nemesis. Like we give them the hardest fight pretty much every year. We just can't figure it out. Roy said he's born in Atlanta. He roots for them, but not when they play the Bills. Hey, I get it. Dirty Birds. All right, so next up, week 10 at Miami. They're saying loss. Oof, what do you think?
No, that's a win.
You're going to win?
I don't even know if Tua's going to play in the game. I mean, let's be honest.
right. By then, right.
It'll be tougher because when we play them the second time, it's always tough. Always, because McDaniels makes the adjustment. He makes the adjustment, and for some reason we can't. It's a little bit hard to kind of figure him out that second time around. But McDaniel, but we'll get him. It'll be close, but I think we'll get him in Miami. All
right. By the way, the fireworks are going crazy over here, so I apologize. Princess is going. She ain't happy. Week 11, Buccaneers. They got us as a win. What do you think? Home against the Bucs.
I'll give it a win. That was on the road. I'll probably go to Tampa. I'm gonna give us a win. Close, very close game against Tampa.
All right, week 12 at Houston. They got us as a win.
Loss.
Damn. Okay. So you have us as that. Well, how many losses right now? You have us as 3 losses right now.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So it's still not terrible. All right. So get off my lawn is saying it's an L. So he agrees with you. He thinks
we haven't won in Houston in close to 20 years.
Okay. So Bills Wire saying they're going to win. They're saying while there's no digs in Houston, the Bills will remember how poorly they played in 2024. So that's their reasoning. I'm with you. We have not played well for some reason, but I think we get the job done. I do. And maybe I'm being a homer here. By the way, every schedule prediction, when we go through these every year, me and Mikey, I always got us as a win. But realistically, guys, 3 losses will be, is where I see this team. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's a great season, right? But I also could see us beating all these teams, right? And that's the great thing about this team. Like, realistically, there's none of these games that, even with the losses that you're saying, I don't think we get smoked. Like, these are all competitive games, even if we lose. Like, I don't see a game there where we're going, yeah, no way, we're going. These are going to be tight games.
From a goal standpoint, you got to beat Kansas City. You got to be one of those teams. You have to be one of those teams. Otherwise, the number one seed's in jeopardy, because that means you have to. And even if you went out, that still won't guarantee you anything, because KC went 15-2 last year, and we beat them.
And they had they didn't even have a great offensive season, and they still won. Right? They had a lot bounce their way last season. I gotta say though, they had a lot of things good, missed field goals that were makeable field goals. Like, they had a lot of really just things that just went their way. But it happens. Things don't happen in Buffalo that way. I got to say, I don't know what it is, but things usually don't work that way for us, right? Like, things just don't go down like that. A guy will make a 65-yard field goal in the worst conditions on us. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't. It's just the way it is sometimes. That's part of being a Buffalo Bills fan. It's like the impossible usually happens against us. Roy, I believe right now, anyways, aren't the Bills favored? Yes. So the Bills are favored in every game right now, according to Vegas. However, that doesn't mean jack shit, right? Yeah. But we're favored in every game. All right. So you got us as a loss. They got us as a win. At Pittsburgh, they got us. They don't say actually, but I'm guessing a win because we're 10-2. So, what do you think? At Pittsburgh, win?
Yeah, I think we're gonna win.
Okay. The Bengals, they got us as a loss, home against the Bengals. My God, did we lose again?
I got that as a win.
Okay, you got that as a win. I was about to say, man, we got to beat them. We got to beat one of these good teams. Okay, this one. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. This game here, out of all the games so far, is the one game I would say if there's going to be an L, that I could see happening, it would be this game. And the only reason I say that is because the Bengals usually get hot during this point in the season. Like, you're probably playing the best Bengals team, on week 14. You know what I mean? So that's the only, I would say, and we have not played well against Cincinnati. Let's be real. Like, Cincy gives us fits. So if there's going to be an L, so far, I would say this is a potential loss because of how we played Cincy in the past, and Cincy usually starts to heat up by this point. And you don't want to play a hot Cincinnati Bengals team. Like, they are loaded on offense. So we'll see. Like, I could see that as a loss. I'm going to give it a win, because we're at home. And this is why I love the schedule too, Jared. The NFL really hooked us up by giving us a lot of tough home games, but they're at home. You know what I mean? So, like, thank you, NFL. You did us good there. So, I'll take it as a win. They got us as a loss. You say what? A win?
Yeah, win.
New England Patriots. They got us as a win. Week 15. You got win. Browns. Can we call that a win? Right? They got it a win. You good? Week 17. Win. Eagles. What you got?
I'm gonna say win. I think we're gonna need that game more than Philly, and we got that at home.
Okay. And the close it out, they got us as a win home against the Jets. Last game at Highmark in a regular season.
Yep.
You agree?
Yep. That will be the game, but I think that might be the number one seed clincher, and I think we're gonna have to go all out. And I think we'll get that.
Okay. So do you agree with this record, 14-3? And by the way, I said realistically, probably about three losses. I'm good with that. Like if we finish the season 14-3. Hey, listen, that's a really good record.
You need to do if you want the number one seed, you cannot go 13-4. You got to go 14-3.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Got to do
so
it.
Chat, put you if you like it, if you think that's about right, let me know, and just give me the regular season record. What you think the Bills will finish in the regular season record wise? I'm. Of course, I'm going to do the homer thing. I think we can win it out in the regular season. But realistically, there's going to be games where you just don't. It happens. You don't, for some reason, you just have a bad performance, right? Even the best of the best have some games where they just don't. It just doesn't happen, right? The game, you just play a bad game. So realistically, 3 losses is probably about right. But like I said, I'll be a homer and I'll say I think we can win every game. 12-5 says get off my lawn. I mean, once again, yeah, it could. Yeah, for sure. I would say the most losses though, I would give it around 4. You know what I mean? I don't see 5, but you never know. This team can be weird at times, and honestly, I would say it's all about how we start the season. If we start the season, 5-1, we're on a good pace to get about 3 losses. If we start the season a little rough, 3 losses, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can see 5 losses for sure. I just think that opening part of the season is going to be very important, especially that first game. I do think that if we can win versus Baltimore opening up, we can really we can get on a roll. That would be big time. Like as far as motivation, but just a boost of confidence going, damn, right? Like week 1, beat a very good team. They can go on a real good roll, right? They can, because confidence is everything too. You know what I mean? Once you start feeling that, you get that mojo that you could beat anybody, man, like that's dangerous. Last year I predicted 11-6. I'll go 13-4, Roy. So you know what? Yeah, I don't hate that either. Get off my lawn. There will be games where we should win, but somehow end up losing. That is true. And then we've had those type of games. We definitely have had those type of games. And you know that. Any Bills fan knows that we've had games where we should have won and we wound up losing one way or the other because we did something stupid. Right? But that's that. Let's see here. Man, the fire. Can you hear the fireworks over here? Can you hear the bangs or no?
Nope.
Holy shit. There's some massive fireworks going off. All right. So let's get to the last thing. A couple more things. We're going to get through this actually probably in 2 hours, Jarek. So thank you for rocking with me once again. And guys, Bills Mafia, all you guys in the chat, thank you once again. I know you guys could be doing something else on your July 4th. So I appreciate you guys rocking with us. All right. Let's get to some NFL stuff. I think it's pretty cool. Let's see here. Let's get to the top 100 players. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get to the top 100 players. All right, and we'll go through this pretty quick. So this is by CBS. This isn't the NFL, by the way. The NFL's, I don't know when that comes out, but I think soon, right, Jarek? The NFL top 100. I think that's okay. All right, so this is according to CBS. So we'll run through this. If there's anything that you disagree, stop. Let me know. Hey, All right, here we go. Top 100. So, all right, we're gonna start. They're starting different. They're gonna go 1 through 100. Patrick Mahomes, number 1. What do you think?
No.
No. Okay. So right away, no. Myles Garrett, number 2.
No.
Okay. By the way, the chat, if you disagree on someone in the top 100 that CBS put out, just put their name and say, I disagree or agree on their ranking. That's all you need to do. This way I know. All right, here we go. Saquon Barkley, number 3.
He should be. Yes. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
You're good. What about Allen at number 4, MVP?
He should be at least number 3.
Yeah, I think he should be.
Barkley should be in the top 3 as well, but Josh Allen should be somewhere in that top 3.
I got to be. I love Myles Garrett. I do. I think he's probably the best defensive edge out there right now. But you got to put a quarterback ahead of him. I think it's just more of that position is everything to a team, I believe. I would put Allen at number 2. I really would. And really, honestly, if you said number 1, I wouldn't really hate that either. Right now, let me see this list: Patrick Mahomes, Myles Garrett, Saquon Barkley, Josh Allen.
It would be.
I'll tell you what. I mean, it would be between Barkley and Allen on that spot for me, and I'm going to go Allen. I once again, I sound like a homer, but Allen is the reigning MVP. He is everything to this offense. I'm going to go Allen 1. I'm going to go Barkley 2. I'm going to go Garrett. I'm going to go Mahomes 3. And then Garrett 4. What do you think?
I would put Lamar would be number 1 for me. Allen would be number 2. Barkley would be number 3. And then number 4 would be Mahomes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, I'm good with that too. Guys, what do you think? Switch Mahomes and Allen. So Roy's going.
I'm fine with that too, man. I mean, look,
yeah,
top 4 material, so whatever.
That's what that's what I'm thinking. So I'm going Allen 1. I'm going 2. What did I say? Patrick Mahomes. Did I go Patrick Mahomes 2 or Barkley 2? I think Patrick. You know what? Maybe I'll switch it up. I still think Patrick Mahomes, because he's a quarterback. He leads that team. Once again, if he goes down, that team could still win some games. But he's the best. Let's be honest. Right now, he is a Super Bowl winning MVP quarterback. Like he still has special moments.
Of the generation. No,
exactly. So I'm gonna go different. I'm gonna go 1 Allen, 2 Mahomes, 3 Barkley, 4 Garrett. That's how I would. And once again, you can mix it up any way you want, but that's how I would go. But yeah, let's continue. 5 Jefferson, Lamar 6. Damn, what do you think? Lamar should be ahead, or you think he's good there?
Be way ahead. Lamar had arguably one of the greatest seasons.
So where do you push Lamar up now?
I would put Lamar at number 2.
Wow.
Not number 2. I'll put him at number 1. I think Lamar was.
Okay. So you're going.
Yeah, I thought he was the best player last year. I thought the MVP. Okay. I thought was Allen, because Allen did more with less. But the best player was Lamar. Was based off of regular season. Was Lamar Jackson?
Yeah. I didn't even think about Lamar. I should have. Okay. So let's revamp this. I'm gonna go 1 Allen. I'm gonna go 2 Mahomes, because I'll tell you why. Mahomes still could beat out, or has beaten Baltimore, right? Like with Lamar. Lamar has struggled in the playoffs. He still continues to have some games where he struggles, right? Even last year, he had some early in the game. Now, he turned it on, but early in the game, he had some bad decisions, right?
He was dominant in the second half. Second half,
yeah.
The second half, he was dominant.
But exactly, but the first half, those mistakes turn into points. You know what I mean? So can't really have that. So, but I get what you're saying. I'm still going to put Mahomes ahead of him. But I'm going to go Allen, Mahomes, Lamar, Barkley, Garrett. Like, that's how I would have my list right now.
I'm fine with that.
And then Jefferson. I'll go Jefferson. Now I got to still see the rest. We can see somebody switching up here. All right, let's see here. Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase. You good with that?
I would move Chase up, and then I would replace Burrow with an offensive. We got with an offensive tackle.
Okay.
I would probably put Trishan Wirfs at that spot.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So Burrow knocked down a little bit. Jamar Chase up. Patrick Surtain at 9.
That's where
Micah at 10.
I'll put Joe Burrow.
Okay. Okay. So last season, I didn't even see this. I should have read that. So last season they had him at 25. Let's see what they had. I'm sorry, I didn't even see that. Last season they had Mahomes at number 1. They had Garrett at 2 last season. Wow, look, CBS didn't even have Barkley ranked last, which is okay. Oh yeah, you're right. He was. That's why. Okay, it makes sense. Josh Allen number 6 they had last year. Jefferson 7. 16 Lamar. That's a little bit. I don't agree with that last year, but Joe Burrow at 15, Chase at 13, Surtain at 25. So that's a major jump for Patrick Surtain, 25 to 9. Parsons about the same. They had him at 9 last year. He's in the top 10. All right, here we go. 11 through 20. TJ Watt. Last season he was number 5. He dropped. He went to 11. You good with that?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Lane Johnson went up from 52 to a 12. Jordan Maliata, he wasn't ranked last year.
Yep, I'm fine.
Rugby player. All right. Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I think 14, or you think you should land in the top 10? Or you're good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hutchinson. He was 47. He's 15 now. Good with that?
Yeah, I can't put him. He was hurt. I can't do
hurt,
it.
Yeah. And you don't know. It was a bad injury too. We don't know what he's going to be like this year. But if he's the same Hutch, man, he's a
He played.
He's a beast.
Games and he got hurt. I can't
yeah. Creed Humphrey, center. He was 48, 16. We had a chance to get him, by the way. Jalen Carter, 17. He was 93 last year, so major jump.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jones, you think he should be higher? Because he's once again a game record.
Yep, he's fine. I'm fine.
All right, he was 14 last year, so he was around the same. Fred Warner, 19.
That's linebacker. Yep.
Tristan Wirfs, 20th. So here's 21 through 30. Penei Sewell, 21. Brock Bowers, 22.
Damn, that is no. I don't think he was the best tight end. I don't think he was the best tight end.
Okay,
it's close with him and Trey McBride.
He had a hell of a season.
Brock Bowers was a weapon. He was a utility weapon, but I think that's a little bit too high for Brock Bowers right now. A little too high for him, yeah. I agree with that. But he had a hell of a season. Stingley, big jump for him from 80 to 23. Sauce Gardner, what do you think? 24 from 12 to 24. He dropped. Yeah, he's top 50. I'm not putting him that high. He did not have a.
So I agree with you. Yeah, so he should be. Yeah, I'm with you. 24 is a little bit too high for him. George Kittle, 25.
George Kittle was the best tight end in the league last year.
Yeah, he was damn good. Hendrickson, 26. He was 33 last year, so he was around the same range. CeeDee Lamb, 27. So he dropped a little bit.
I'm gonna drop him a little bit. Drop him
a little bit more. Okay. What about Crosby coming at 28? They had him at 11 last year, so he's a pretty good drop. Yeah. Getting a little older, but still a good hell of a player. Dexter Lawrence.
Yep.
29th. He dropped a little bit. Tyreek Hill. What do you think about Hill coming at 30th? He was number 4 last year. And I also want to mention he was number 1 in the NFL top 100. So
yeah, I would still keep him in that range because that offense, I got to give him a little leeway. Tua was hurt, and then the way that they use Tyreek, I hate the way that they utilize him. He honestly could. If he was here right now, the numbers would be insane. But I say that the offense kind of held him back a little bit. Okay,
so you're good with that right now for Hill at 30. Okay. AJ Brown, 31.
Mm-hmm.
What about Gibbs at 32?
Jahmyr Gibbs. So that would be
hell of a player.
That's top 3 back.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
I think you should go a little higher, right? A little bit.
He's in that range. I'll keep him there because he's not.
Keep him there? Okay.
He's a split back. So you gotta.
I think I would put him somewhere in the top 25. He's a hell of a player, bro. He's dangerous. But it's not far off from 25 to 32. So I get it. Daniels at 33.
Jaden Daniels, yeah, he's in that range.
Trent Williams, 34, from number 3 to 34, big drop, but he's getting older. Mm-hmm. Nick Bosa, big drop as well, from 10 to 35.
I would drop him a little bit more because again, can't stay healthy. I would drop him
like his brother. Kyle Hamilton at 36. He was 36 last year, so he didn't move at all.
Yeah, I think he should move. I think that dude's a top 25 player in the league.
Okay.
Yep. Him, Brian Branch, and Jesse Bates.
All right. 37, Cameron Hayward.
Drop.
Okay. Rashawn Slater, 38.
I'm good with that. Rashawn Slater.
Okay. Bijan Robinson, 39.
Yeah, I would drop him a little bit.
Okay. Bond. Zach Bond.
Zach Bond, man. Yep. You can argue. He should have went up, but Zach Bond played great. Played well.
Okay. Linebacker for Philly. All right, here we go. We're getting into that 41 to 50 range. McCaffrey, 41. He was 8 last year. Big drop.
I got to take him off the list. You got to stay healthy.
Ooh, so just off the list altogether. Not a top 100.
If he's healthy for the majority of the season, he's easily a top 25. He's got to stay healthy.
So you're taking him off the list, period.
Yeah,
top 100.
You got to take him off.
Wow. So I don't know if I take him off the list, but I would definitely drop him because of the injury factor. But I get where you're going. Trey McBride, 42.
Yep. Great season.
Okay.
Great season with the Cardinals.
Lindstrom at 43.
I'm fine
guard for Atlanta.
Yeah.
Right. Brian Thomas at 44.
I would drop him a little bit because I need to see more from him. But Brian Thomas had a great year.
Yeah, back to back. By the way, rookies here from last year. Malik Neighbors, 45. Trent McDuffie coming in at 46.
He's top 20.
So you think he needs to get? So he was 30 last year. So they dropped him. They said he's more of a nickel corner. But he did a nice job when asked to do so. He's the best inside player in the league when he does play the nickel.
It doesn't make any damn sense because he played outside and was a first-team All-Pro as a boundary corner. He can play both. The fact that he's an All-Pro at both positions should easily justify why he's easily a top 20 player.
Okay, yeah, I think you I would go in the top 30. Because he's a hell of a player. Daniel Hunter, 47. What do you think? He was 35 last year.
Really good edge rusher.
All right, Quinnen Williams.
I'll drop him. Yeah, I would drop him. He
drop him a little bit.
Not entirely his fault. Didn't really have a compliment to play right next to him, but I would drop him a little bit.
Oh, here's 49. Herbert. Pretty.
We got to drop him, man. I'm sick of it.
Got to drop. All right.
Listen, I like Justin Herbert a lot. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks I've ever seen, dude. But I'm tired of this Justin Herbert hype, man. I'm tired of it. Top 100, and I'm dropping him. I'm definitely dropping his ass for sure.
Okay. All right. Jonathan Taylor, 50th, running back for the Colts.
Yep. Underrated. That's a good placement.
All right. 51 through 60. Quinn Meniers, center for the Broncos, 51. They got hurt. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I would move Meniers up. He was a first-team All-Pro guard. Was amazing. Probably the best guard in the league. I would definitely move him up.
Move him up and where? Where would you get him? 30 to 40 range?
Top 30.
Okay. You Meniers, where would you put him? In the top 100?
Top
Between
30.
what? Top 30? Okay. Jalen Hurts, 52. Super Bowl winning quarterback.
I would drop him. I hate to say it because Jalen Hurts is a winner. He wins. He's not going to put up the fancy stats. Well, they didn't ask him to put. He's capable of doing it, but they didn't ask him to do that this year. But what they just asked, he was the ultimate game managing quarterback. But I got to stay consistent because I did it with Eli Manning. I did it with Joe Flacco. These game managing quarterbacks that Russell Wilson had that. Russell Wilson had the exact same energy. He's top 100 for sure. I got to drop him though a little bit because I think there's better players on the list than Jalen Hurts.
Tyler Linderbaum,
and that's
53
right there. Yeah, Tyler Linderbaum is literally top 3 in his position. That's why.
So you're moving him up a little bit?
Yep, it's top 3 in his position.
Okay, so top maybe 30 to 40 range.
Top 40 for sure.
Top 40. Okay, so between that 30 40. Okay, Jared Verse 54, linebacker for the Rams. Good with that?
I need to see a little bit more from him. I would drop him down a little bit, like not top 70 range, but Jared Verse.
Okay,
awesome. He was awesome.
Joe Tunney.
Joe, I would move. Joe is at least top 50. Top 50.
Okay, so it's about right. So there, you don't totally disagree. 55. He was 86 last year. So, okay, yeah, that's fair. Will Anderson Jr. He was 99 last year. He's up to 56 according to CBS.
Yep.
What do you think?
He was awesome. Yep. Really good.
Okay.
Really good last year.
Baker at 57.
So how many quarters? So we got.
He's actually played very. He's actually
That's what I'm thinking
has
about.
better stats than Mahomes over I think they said the past 2 or 3 years, like all together, like yards and touchdowns. So I don't know.
Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and then we didn't name Stafford hasn't because so he'll be top 5 quarterback.
Yeah. I would move him up. I mean, 57. Listen, I'm not like a big time Baker Mayfield fan, but he in regular season wise, he's putting up some numbers. I would say, to be fair for Baker, the only knock on Baker that I have, is that there's games where he just doesn't show up, right? And as a franchise quarterback, you can't have that as a trait. And he has that as a trait.
Top 7 because I forgot.
Yeah, so
no, he's fine. He's fine.
I'll go 30th.
Top 30th.
I'll go in that 30 to 40 range for Baker. I think because listen, like I said, he has better stats than Mahomes over the last, I think, 2 or 3 years. He's put up some big numbers, regular season numbers. Like I said, the only knock on him is he has too many games where he doesn't show up. That's the knock on Baker, at least how I see it. You don't get that from Allen. You don't get that from Mahomes. You know what I mean? Like they show up. They don't have a lot of games where they just don't show up. Baker has too many of those. That's why I feel like he's in that 30 to 40 range. So I'll stick there on that. By the way, the chat has been quiet. So if you guys are still watching or anybody in the chat, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're still staying, still watching. Yeah, you're still here. I mean, it shows that you're here, but you guys have got really quiet. I'm on St. Brown 58. You agree with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. Christian Darrisaw 59.
Yep.
OT. Okay. Kirby Joseph 60th.
I thought Brian Branch was better than Kirby Joseph, but yeah, I would take him down a little bit, replace him with Branch. But Joseph was awesome with the Lions this year.
All right, we're almost done. 61 through 70. Xavier McKinney at 61.
Yeah, underrated.
Okay. But you're good with that? You think 61, or you think you should? You're okay. So Christian Gonzalez, I think he should be going up a little bit, right? 62. Yeah, he was
corner.
Yeah, what do you think? Top 50? He's one of the best, man.
Yeah, top 50.
Okay. Oh, look, they're still here. All right, you haven't fallen asleep yet, and thank you so much. All right. I hope this isn't a boring segment. I feel like it's interesting. I do. I always like these little articles to see where people, like different, sites rank players or quirky little stats like this. So, once again, though, I go say it doesn't really matter at the end of the day what they have to say, but it is interesting. We can always have our own feedback. So that's why I go through this with you guys. All right. Puka Nacua at 63.
I'm fine with that.
All right. Leonard Williams is 64.
The defensive tackle?
Yeah, edge. Yeah.
Oh, hell no. Why is he on the list?
First full season with Seattle, he had 11 sacks, the most he had since 2020. He was a force for the Seattle defense as he turns 31 this year.
No, I'm not. No.
So you're not good with? Okay, all right.
No, I would take him off the list.
Okay. What about Brian Branch?
Yeah,
65.
He should be
Higher?
He was a rookie. He was, yeah. I mean, it was second year. He was awesome. Brian Brown that team.
So where would you put him? Top 50? You're going
Within
50 to 60?
50, sure. Yeah, within the top 50 for sure.
50 to 60 range. Okay. Josh Jacobs, 66.
I'm fine with that.
Nico, 67.
I would lower him because of injury, but
yeah. So you're low him a little bit. Okay.
Yep.
Marlon Humphrey at 68.
I would lower him a little bit. He's a slot corner at this point in his career, but he's a really damn good one.
Yeah, he is. He really is. I'm good with that, actually. He's around the 70 range. Quinion Mitchell, 69.
Ooh, if he has, you can make an argument he might have been the best corner last year as a rookie. I mean, he was shut down. He was a shutdown guy. I'm good with that for now. If he has one more year like that again, he's top 20 at least.
Yeah. Roy's not a big fan of the list. Way too many good players for me to sort through. I hear you. It's just, listen.
These are great players.
Yeah. So, Roy, I do these things, honestly, because this part of the offseason until training camp starts, which I believe training camp starts in a week and a half, I believe, or 2 weeks. It's just a brutal time for podcasters. So I come up with as much fun things I can to make the podcast kind of go on a little bit and have a good time. It's the only reason I go through these lists. I'm with you, though. They don't really necessarily mean too much, but it's always interesting to go over and see what other people have to say, like especially like the big time people, CBS, NFL.com, all these. So that's why I run through these lists. And some of them are actually fun and interesting, So I don't mind the top 100, because I'm always curious where they have me. And you already see that we don't agree with a lot of this where they have some of these players. So that's why we go through them. T. Higgins, 70.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, we're getting down to the close to the end here. 71 through 80. Jalen Johnson, 71, corner for the Bears.
Yeah,
boy, he dropped big time. He was 34.
Yeah,
they haven't dropped.
Yeah, he's really good.
Dickerson, 72, guard.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Bates at 73.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped. He had a drop off too from where they had him. Garrett Bowles, 74.
Okay.
All right, you're good. Okay, Trey Smith, guard, 75.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
The other Josh Allen. Josh Hines Allen, 76.
Yeah, I'm good. He's super underrated.
Dude, he's so good.
It's like remember Kurt Warner, the running back that everyone's like, wait,
of course, the other Kurt Warner.
Yeah. Don't talk about the other Kurt Warner, who was a great back.
Right.
That's Joshua Hines Allen, unfortunately. Like
I would love him on this team. Like he's a good, very good player. But unfortunately, he's stuck with the Jaguars. He decided to get that contract. Absolutely, he could have chose to go somewhere else. Jared Goff is 77. He was 76 last year, so they have him around where they had him last year. What do you think?
Okay, but I'm starting to get mad. There's one player I'm not seeing his name on
here. Starting to get a little upset. Okay, yeah. 78 Simmons.
Yeah, little banged up. A little banged up.
All right. He moved up a little bit. He was 95 last year on their rankings. Jair,
no, you got to take him off. He can't stay healthy.
You got it. Can't stay healthy. I'm with you. I'm totally hell of a player when he's healthy, but man, he is just not. He can't stay healthy. Quentin Nelson, 80.
Yeah, he's starting to dip though. He is starting to. Nelson like he used to be, but he's still a really good player.
81 through 90. Terry McLaurin, 81, wide receiver.
Yep, underrated.
82 Evans.
Yep, underrated.
All right, Zach Tom, 83.
Yep, underrated.
All right, Devin Witherspoon.
I'll drop him a little bit. He's a good player, but I'll drop him a little bit.
What about Cooper DeJean? He had a good season last year with the Eagles.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Good with that, right?
I'm fine with that.
Laporta at 86. He was 58, so he had a little drop. Roquan Smith at 87.
That's a travesty. He should be in the top 50.
So they had him 40 last year.
Yeah,
so I'm with you. He's a hell of a player. I'd have him in the 50 as well. I think I'm surprised they dropped him that low. Bobby Wagner at 88.
I'm good with that. Bobby Wagner still at his age is
yeah,
like London Fletcher all over again.
Right. Winfield at 89.
And yep, top 5 safety.
Woo! Look at Dak, 90th. He was 49 last year.
Yeah, I mean, if he's healthy, yeah, he's in the list. He can't stay healthy, so I got to take him off the list.
So you're good there. Okay, 91 through 100. Devontae Adams, 91. He was 26 last year.
No,
off the list, right? You get him off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jordan Love. Should be higher than that, right?
You know
My
what?
God, 92.
I'm getting pissed off and getting more pissed. There's a player that's not on this damn list that I have no idea why he's down the list. But
getting Jarek mad. I think Jordan Love is better than 92. I do. I do. I think he should be at least 75 range.
Oh hell no! I gotta disagree with you, Tommy.
Really? Okay. I like him. I think he's still young. I still think he has room to grow.
Offensive line, offensive line. He can't stay healthy when he does play. It's turnover. Can't do it.
All right. Hey, it's fair. It's fair argument. He did throw 11 picks last year, 25 touchdowns. So he needs to get better with the turnovers. I'm with you there. He has the weapons. But I do think he's young. I still think he has room to grow. I don't think he's reached his peak yet. So I think he's better than 92. I'm going to go 75 range, but I'm with you. I see your argument. Lad McConkey, 93. Wide receiver. Chargers.
I'm good with it. I'm going to go with Lad.
Bucky Irvin.
Really
94.
Yeah, really good.
By the way, I think he's better than James Cook, but that's just my opinion. Derwin James, 95.
Still can play, still can ball, and still one of the better safeties in the league.
You do know who's not on this list so far, right? Who's a Buffalo Bill?
I know. Alexander. Ridiculous.
Travis Kelce, 96.
Yeah, even at his old age, I think he still belongs in this damn list. But after this season, no longer.
Hey, got a Buffalo Bill. Deion Dawkins, 97.
A second team All Pro is that low. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
So was that the player you were thinking about when you were getting upset with?
Bro, he was the top 5 tackle in the league.
I'm with you. Like, he definitely should be higher on this list. I'm glad they at least put him there, but I'm with you. I am totally with you. I'm at least they put him there, but yeah, I'm with you. 98, Tyler Smith.
See, look at it. I mean, we're competing with Tyler Smith. Now, Tyler Smith is a good tackle, but he's nowhere in the same class with Deion Dawkins. Like that's
exactly.
List.
I'm with you. Ramsey at 99.
All right.
And then to finish it out, Christian Benford at 100.
And that's another player. Top, arguably a top 5 corner. Huge argument, and he's that low because people don't. Just like how TJ Houshmandzadeh said that Jair Alexander would be the best corner on the Bills. People don't. That's how you know. People just simply don't watch all the games. They don't watch.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Christian Benford,
I'm with you.
Arguably a top 5 corner in the league, and he gets disrespected because he doesn't have the name recognition. It is what it is.
I think Christian Benford's in the top 10, but he's getting close to the top 5. He's like, in my vision, I would say somewhere in the middle. I would say like 7th, which is still very good. I think he has room. I don't think he's reached the ceiling yet. But he's better than 100th. I mean, I think he should definitely be higher on this list. What the fuck? Singletary didn't make the list? I know. Like, Roy, you see what I mean? This is why these lists are ridiculous. How did Devin Singletary not make the top 100? It baffles me. But for real, James Cook is not on this list. What do you think about that? You think James Cook deserves to be in the top 100?
Yeah, he should be on the list for sure.
Where would you put James Cook? Just curious. Where would he go?
70. I'll put him in that top 70. James Cook was, dude. Like, if you go back, just watch. James Cook was actually he was even better than what I thought he actually was. He was really good. Very important vital to this offense. Again, we got players on this list like Tyler Smith and Jordan Love and Dak Prescott. We got players that can't stay healthy within 2-3 games. And Jai Alexander making the list. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me why, again, we got some really effective players that still didn't make the damn list. It just doesn't. Like, what are they basing this off of? Because you got all pros, first team all pros that are in like the 80s and 90s, and you got players that didn't even make the Pro Bowl in the top 30.
I get. That's why I love going through this list, because we can debate and we can say, hey, like we don't get it. Like, you know what I mean? Where would you rank Shakir if not top 100?
He's not in the top.
Great question, Roy. No, but he's saying if not the top 100, where does he land?
I would say 130.
So he's in the 120 to 130 range?
Yes.
Or 130 to 140, somewhere around there.
How I would do my top 100, I would look at the top 10 players from each position. I would look at their accolades. I would look at accolades, team accomplishments, how they rank statistically, and that's how I would do my top 10. Like, for me, Jordan Love is not a top 10 quarterback. He's not. So if you're not a top 10 quarterback, you should not be in the top 100.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
James Cook is a top 10 running back, so that by logic, James Cook should be in the top 10 in the position. Now, obviously, there's receiver. There's a lot of really good players.
Yeah,
a lot of really good players. But that's the whole point of the top 100, is that we got to start respecting other positions. Deion Dawkins is a top 5 tackle, regardless of left and right. He's a top 5 tackle in the league.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Every metric points to that, and for him to be 85, and he's a second team All Pro, by the way. So for him to be that low just doesn't make any sense.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I do think these lists are tough because there is a lot of great players at their positions. Like, in 100, it seems like a lot, but it's really not when you're talking about how many unbelievable players there are in the NFL. So I get why everyone's not going to be happy with where some of their players are at in these top 100s, but I feel what you're saying. I get where you're going with that. All right, so I'm going to skip the quarterback tiers. We're going to do that next week because we're hour 45 in and we want to get out of here by 2 hours. We'll do the last one. NFL's most overrated and underrated quarterbacks. So this is going to be interesting. This one's interesting. This one's really interesting. Let's see where they have overrated and underrated quarterbacks. CBS did this list. So here we go. Overrated. So they got overrated Dak Prescott. Your thoughts?
Underrated. I think Dak Prescott's underrated. I think he's a little bit too much disrespect. Okay. If he can just stay, if he's a top 10 quarterback if he stays healthy. He's a better player than he's in that Tua realm, but he's better than Tua. He's better.
He is better than Tua. I'm with you there.
Yep.
I agree.
Should have won the MVP a couple years ago, in my opinion.
Okay.
It's just health. It's just health, and then it's just bad playoff performances. He's in that. It's Tua, Kirk Cousins. He's in that same realm with those players in terms of great regular season quarterbacks, but just not really great playoff performers. So
yeah.
But he's a top 10 quarterback. Tony Romo, same category. Like,
yeah, I'm on the fence with Dak. I think I can see the argument on the overrated, and I can also see your argument on the underrated. So that's a tough one for me when it comes to Dak, because when healthy, he's a really good player. Like, he's shown that. So, but once again, he gets hurt. Injuries, man, it seems like the guy just can't stay healthy. And he really hasn't had that big moment yet in the playoffs, right? Where, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm on the fence with that one. I don't know. Like, that one, I'm not 100% on. Like, I guess I'm in the middle on that one. Tua. So here's Tua. They got him at. They're doing all the overrated. Okay, overrated. They're saying Tua's overrated.
Well, my question is, what would they rate Tua? If they rank him like top 5, people had him like as a consensus top 5, or like, if Tua stays, it's the same thing with Dak. If he stays healthy, I believe he's a top 10 quarterback if he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yes, the problem is he just stays hurt. But in terms of what he can do as a quarterback, listen, he's not the most mobile, but what he is, he's extremely accurate. He has one of the fastest releases any quarterback in the history of the league has ever had. The problem with him is that he doesn't have the arm strength. He doesn't have the consistent arm strength to push the ball down the field more consistently, and he cannot stay healthy. He's not mobile enough too, which is fine. I mean, you don't got to be, but in this day and age, you have to have legs. You have to.
You have to. Yeah, I totally agree.
So I think he's fine, man. I mean, if people have him as a top 10 quarterback, he's barely number 10. Maybe you can, again, if not top 10, he's at least top 12. I'm not taking him out the top 10. He's at least top 12 to me.
But do you agree with the overrated?
No, I think he's perfectly rated.
So but I mean, so are you on the fence or you say underrated? So, or are you just on the fence with him?
Underrated.
Okay, so you disagree with so far the two. So basically, their thing is, look, they're saying he missed multiple games due to injury in all but one of the first 5 NFL campaigns, which that's a big problem. His crisp accuracy hasn't been nearly as apparent in critical off-script situations, which I agree, making Miami incredibly dependent on Coach McDaniel's script. So they're giving him love.
That's a good point.
They're giving him love. They're saying he has pinpoint short area precision. And here's the deal. Like I still say, I think Tua's a good quarterback. I do. I'm not going to shit on Tua. I think Tua, when healthy, when protected, he could be he's a good quarterback. He's not he's not going to franchise quarterback. I don't think he's going to lead that team to a Super Bowl. And the injuries are my biggest red flag when it comes to Tua. And it's been my red flag since the day he was drafted. I've been calling it since day one. I really have. Like, anyone that knows me knows that I've been talking about Tua and the injuries that have followed him since high school. And the concussions are, I would say he's had the most severe concussions that I've seen one player have since entering the NFL, as far as just brutal, like where we're all just watching going, what in the hell is going on? Like, he's had some, like, where you would think this guy needs to retire. Like, when we're talking about a guy, that he should retire 3, 4, 5 years in his career, that's not a good sign, right? People see this. And that's my biggest red flag when it comes to Tua. Also, I think they built around his style, and I think NFL defenses have caught on to that timing-based offense. And I think that's why the Dolphins offense is struggling. I think defenses now caught on to it. They're being more physical with receivers at the line, and they're knocking their timing off. They'll look good against bad defenses, against bad teams, but there's a reason why they only have 2 wins against teams over 500. I believe only 2, maybe 3 since Mike McDaniels took over. That's terrible. That is really bad. That tells me that better teams, better defenses own the Miami Dolphins, and it's just a fact. They just cannot beat the better teams. And I think that offense has now caught up to Mike McDaniel. And I think you have to, in time, switch quarterbacks. You have to have a more mobile quarterback. You got to switch that offense up. I like McDaniel, but I don't like him as a head coach either. I don't think he's right for that gig. But as far as Tua goes, I will go overrated because of the injury factor. I think like I said, I think he has good traits, but yeah, I'll agree with CBS on this one. All right. Kyle Murray, overrated. They're saying, what do you think?
Yeah, I say he's overrated because because there are rankings that have him as a top. He is a top 10 talent. I believe he's a top 10 talent. The problem is that he hasn't performed it consistently like he should have. And some of it is his fault. Some of it's not his fault. I think it's more on structure. But yeah, I would say overrated.
Okay, so you agree with him. Roy's coming and saying, is Tua a true system quarterback?
Yeah. He's a system quarterback. He has to play in a specific system in order for him to thrive, which, to be honest, I mean, that's the majority of quarterbacks in the NFL anyway. You have to be put in a specific system in order for you to thrive. That's to me when people say that, that's why there's only four elite quarterbacks in the National Football League. 4. Because you can place these quarterbacks in any system. Lamar Jackson raised that right now. He can thrive in any system he plays in. Josh,
I'm with that.
Joe Burrow, Patrick, any system they can thrive in. Can't really say that like all those years ago when they got into the league, but as they can thrive. I can't say that about Tua. I can't say that about Baker Mayfield. I cannot say that about Matthew Stafford. I can't say that about Jared Goff. I can't. Dak Prescott.
No,
I don't know if
fair.
I can know if I can. Jalen Hurts. Nope, definitely can't say that with Jalen Hurts. Dak Prescott. But that's the difference between elite players and then that next tier of players that are really good quarterbacks, but they're scheme specific players or need players tailored around them in order for them to be successful.
Fair point. All right. Next up, underrated. So here comes the underrated quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts. What do you think?
Underrated, yeah, for sure. He gets a lot.
Do you agree with that?
He gets too much crap for being a game managing system quarterback. He's playing his role, which is to win.
I'm 100% with you, and it showed in the Super Bowl because the Chiefs went all out in that game to stop
Barkley.
To stop Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts absolutely took him to school. He said, and he stepped up his game. I thought Jalen Hurts. I thought Jalen Hurts played a great game. I really did. I was thoroughly impressed with that performance from Hurts because I'd never been a big Hurts fan. I didn't hate him as a player, but I was like on the fence. I was like, eh. But he showed me in that game that he could take over, that he can run, he can own, like that he could step up and be the guy, right? And have everything on his back.
He's had 2 great Super Bowls against the Chiefs. He's never had a bad game. He's had 2 great Super Bowls
against a good defense too. It's not like a slouch defense. So I'll say underrated. I'm with that. Brock Purdy, underrated.
Yeah.
Really? I think I'm not a fan. I am not a fan of Purdy.
I don't think
but tell me why.
There's not a lot of quarterbacks that can play in that Kyle Shanahan system. Not too
fair enough.
There's not a lot, and he can improvise with his legs. He's way more athletic than people give him credit for. Extremely accurate, extremely intelligent, really good time-based quarterback. Do I think Brock Purdy, if you play him right now with Joe Brady, would he be more successful? No, he would not be. He wouldn't be. I think he'll be solid. He would not be like Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League. Yes, people can say he didn't. Well, you see what happens when you didn't have weapons around him. Again, this is the difference between elite quarterbacks and others.
I'm with you there. Great point.
If you when he's got the weapons, Brock Purdy can get you to the Super Bowl. He'll get you to the Super Bowl. He'll get you to the dance. I cannot say that about Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield had more than Brock Purdy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
We saw what happened. So Brock Purdy was underrated.
I'm gonna go overrated for now. However, that it could change. I just feel like he's had some games where he just, when the defense was putting a lot of pressure on him, he's made some critical mistakes. I still think he's growing as a quarterback. He still has stuff to learn. There's a reason why he went in the 7th round. I don't think he's reached the ceiling, so I could change my mind on him. I thought he had 12 interceptions last year, a little high. For me, he needs to clean that up a little bit. I don't think he's super athletic. He could take off. He's mobile, but he's not, it's not part of his total game. You know what I mean? But he's well-rounded. I do think San Francisco did him a favor as far as like he stepped into a good situation. He had good weapons. I'm very curious what he does this year because they lost some of those weapons. I'm curious if the health of McCaffrey, because that's a big return if he can stay healthy for Purdy. So I'm gonna stick with underrated for now, but I could change my opinion. Next up, Bo Nix, underrated, or is this overrated? What are we in? Underrated. Sorry, yeah. So Bo Nix, underrated. What do you think? Bo Nix underrated?
I think he's the exact same as Brock Purdy. I think the only difference is I think Bo Nix's arm is stronger. I think Bo Nix is stronger. Bo Nix he's not as accurate as Purdy, but he's mobile. He's more mobile than Purdy. He has a stronger arm than Purdy, and he's a system quarterback. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
He can he has to fit a specific system, and the way that we're seeing right now with him under that Sean Payton offense. He's playing extremely well, and again, that's year one for him. So I don't expect him to be Jaden Daniels, where he can carry the offense on his back. I don't expect him to be Josh Allen or any of those quarterbacks. This is where I expect him to be. I don't expect him to see that much massive improvement. This is I think what his floor is exactly what he was his rookie season. He's a good, efficient, effective quarterback that when you ask him to win the game for you, he's capable of doing it, but he's not going to be doing that on a consistent basis.
Correct. Yeah, I'm with you there. Juicebox saying they're about to find out, paying him $50 million. I do think I agree. I think they overpaid a little bit on Purdy. I would have waited a little bit, but I understand too at the same point, like
because he could have got $50 million.
He's still young. Yeah, I think they see him as you got a guy in house already. You seen what he could do. If you let him walk, then you're gonna have to you're kind of rolling the dice there. You know what I mean? But man, 50 million. Like I don't know. Like I'm on the fence with that too. Yeah, I get it. I know it's a standard, but I'm on the fence with it when it comes to Purdy. That's why I would say right now I would list him as overrated right now, and so I see more from him. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if I would have paid him that. But I understand though why they did, if that makes any sense. I personally, if I was the GM, I probably wouldn't have. I got to be honest with you. I would want to see at least another season from him to see what I really have in Brock Purdy. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Next up, we were to talk about Bo Nix. By the way, Bo Nix on this too. The 12 intercept, he has to clean that up. Like, you know, he definitely has to clean the turnovers up. And he, you know, it'll obviously, you know, improve his career because you don't want to have, you know, going into next year another 12 interceptions. So we'll see what happens. And that's it for that list. So that's all I got for that, guys. We're at pretty much a tail end here of the show. We do a Ask AI segment. So if you guys have any questions to ask AI, let me know now. Put it in the chat. Jarek, we'll start with you while the chat thinks about what they want to ask AI. So, Jarek, what do you want to ask AI today? It could be anything. Could be anything. It doesn't necessarily need to be Buffalo Bills related, but let me know. What do you got for me?
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, you know, since it's America, right? We got to talk about America. Next year's the World Cup. Will the United States, make it past? What? Ask AI. Do you believe?
Okay.
Do you believe that the U.S. are capable of getting past the round of 16 for the 2026 World Cup?
All right. So, do you believe USA will what?
Are we capable?
Do you believe USA is capable? Okay. Is capable of what?
Getting past the round of 16 for the World Cup 2026.
Past round 16 of the World Cup?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to win it. I just want to. Can we just make it past the round of 16, please?
All right. Let's see. All right. We're asking AI. Do you believe USA is capable of getting past round 16 of the World Cup? We'll skip some of this and we'll go to the end, which usually tells us the conclusion. All right. So obviously, if you guys want to, read all that, let me know. But
I'm not even going to even ask the truth. I'll be capable. I'm not because they'll probably say no.
Yeah. So here we go. So the outlook. The expanded format gives the U.S. MNT a strong chance of reaching the round of 32, and with a favorable draw, they could advance to the round of 16. Getting past that stage depends on matchups, luck, and execution. If they face a mid-tier team, their talent and home crowd could push them through. However, a matchup against a top-tier nation like Brazil, Argentina, or England would be a steep challenge. And current sentiment on X leans pessimistic, with fans predicting a round of 32 exit at best.
So that's a no. Well, there it is.
So yeah,
I get it. I get it. We suck right now. We have a coach that's using us as a stepping stone so we can get a European job. That's it's not gonna happen, man. But that's one of my goals, man. Before I die, can we get a Bills Super Bowl and a USA World Cup? Well, the World Cup will happen, but can we just make it to the semifinals? That's just all I want. That my sports life will be fulfilled if we can just win a Super Bowl and make it and get to the semifinal of the World Cup. That's just all I want.
I gotcha. Any thoughts on the Mac? What Mac situation? Am I missing something on that? Do you know what he's talking about?
What are you talking about?
See the get off my lawn. Any thoughts on the Mac situation? Let me know what you're talking about. Just curious, because I'm not sure what you mean by that. All right, Juicebox coming in. How many touchdowns will Josh Allen have? That's a great one. Let's see. So you tell me first, Jarek. What do you think AI will say?
Total
How many?
Or passing total.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a great question. So what are you talking, Juicebox? Are we talking total? Thank you for saying that. Are you talking passing touchdowns or total touchdowns, Juicebox? So let me know before I put that question for you, because it does matter. You are right.
If it's passing, I'll go 30.
I see what he's saying. Okay. Sorry to cut you off. So he's talking about the Maxwell lawsuit. So I'll give you my quick thoughts on that. One, they already knew about this going into the draft, right? This is something the NFL was aware of. It's something the Buffalo Bills were aware of. They did their homework. The NFL investigated. Here's the deal. It was cleared by the school, by the college, Kentucky. It was cleared by police. There's no proof. There's no evidence. They did anything of what he's being accused of. So right there, there's nothing. There's nothing that's going to happen legally. Like he's not going to jail. Like nothing. His name's been cleared with that, right? Which is the most important thing. So nothing's going to happen when it comes to the NFL. Nothing's going to happen when it comes to him going to jail or anything like that. Like it's been cleared. Now this is a civil suit, which everyone has the right to sue you. I mean. But I want to say this. People are very quick sometimes to say someone's innocent or guilty, and most of the time people are quick to say someone's guilty. And I hope that a lot of people out there learned a lesson on Matt Araiza. Yeah, Matt Araiza got fucked. He really got screwed over, guys. He had a contract. He won the job fair and square. I felt like he got 2 years. I believe it was 2 years, right? 2 years taken away from football, which is so important for a player. Missing those 2 years, and I'm so happy for him. I really am. I'm glad he has a job now. He deserves it. But he should have been a Buffalo Bill. And I felt like the Bills did the right thing at the time. However, I will say this. I don't agree with how I agree with them releasing it. But I'll say that. Here's the only reason I say I agree with it was more for Matt Araiza. And I'll say this because I felt like that charge, because it was still legally pending, right? Meaning it was being investigated still by police. That is a big charge. You can get some good prison time for that. I felt like Matt Araiza needed to concentrate on his life.
It wasn't even
right?
a charge. There was a civil suit.
No, not at the time. It was still being investigated by police. So what happened was it was being investigated still. And then they winded up dropping the charges midway through the year, some point. Like,
evidence. There was no evidence.
Right. There was no evidence. But my point is, he still needed to concentrate on clearing his name. So that's why I was but I will say this. I felt like the Bills, in hindsight, should have released them with pay and still had him like on the roster as an IR or whatever you have it, right? Where they could bring him back once everything is settled.
I would have put him on the practice squad.
Or whatever. You know what I mean? Like still have him on the team and let him handle business, right?
Yeah,
like I feel like that's what they should have done. And they still had an opportunity when we had an injury to what's his name during the playoffs to bring Matt Araiza back. And I remember the chat and I remember Twitter at the time was like, oh, Matt Araiza, he can't hold. He can't do, like, he's not ready. Why? What are you talking about? We brung in that other terrible punter. Like, bro, field position is huge in the playoffs. Like, Matt Araiza won the job because he showed that he can hold a football for a kicker. Like, he had no problem. So I never got that whole, he's not right. What are you talking about? The kicker we brung in was terrible. Matter of fact, he was so terrible, we started, what's his name? Right? Our Sam Martin, who had a bad leg. Right? So I felt like we should have brung him back at least then or in the offseason. At least bring him back to compete for his old job. And they never did. So I think they did him a disservice there. But like I said, I understood at the time, but I feel like if they could reverse the hands, if they could go back, I think Bean would have still had him on the roster. But like you said, practice squad, let him go handle it legally, get his lawyers. Because Bean initially was like, I knew about this. We believe his story. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
draft and investigation.
Yes, I'm saying. So I guess the moral of the story is this with Maxwell. I think Brandon Bean learned his lesson with Matt Araiza before drafting Maxwell. Like, he's not going to make the same mistake. He didn't make it with Maxwell, and that's why they drafted Maxwell. They knew that there was nothing to this, and they probably knew that there was going to be a civil lawsuit down the line, right? It happens. So there's nothing to this. There's nothing to this. And he's not going to get suspended. Nothing's. So ignore anything you hear outside. All right. So nothing's going to happen with that. All right. Juicebox is saying both for Allen. So we're going to say how many total touchdowns. How many total touchdowns will Josh Allen have in the 2025 NFL season? All right. Let's see. What do you think? By the way, before I hit this, what do you think?
Like
total touchdowns.
Like 42.
42. All right, everybody in the chat, you want throw the number out there, but here we go. Let's see what AI says. All right, let's see here. So this is the past. I'm glad they're bringing this up. So 2020, he had 46, 37 and 8. One receiving. 2021, he had 42. 2022, he had 42. 2023, he had 44, 29, and 15. In 2024, he had 41 and 28 and 12 and 1 receiving. All right. So let's see what they say. Let's see the final answer. Josh Allen is projected to have approximately 42 total touchdowns. Isn't that what you said?
Yep.
Pretty sure you said that. Passing, rushing, and receiving in the 2025 NFL regular season. Assuming he plays all 17 games and the Bills maintain the offense efficiency, this estimate is based on his consistent 40 and 46 touchdown range over the past 5 seasons and the team's supportive system. For the most accurate updates, blah, 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 blah. All right, so, yeah, 42, I'm good with that, and I believe that's what he's been around. So anybody else? Because that's it for the night. We're going to play the Real Men of Genius. By the way, if you don't know or you didn't join us last week, we're going to be playing a Real Men of Genius video or audio, because some of these are radio spots, at the end of every podcast we do. They're funny. I wish they would bring it back. Jarek remembers them. I just love them. I think they're so funny. So I think that's it for the night. We're going to go ahead and play the Real Men of Genius, Jarek. And it'll be a surprise. I won't tell you what it is. We'll just throw one out, a different one each week. So today, here we go. Real Men of Genius.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Way Too Much Cologne Wearer.
Mr. Way Too Much Cologne Wearer.
Like a bullhorn, your cologne announces your every arrival 4 blocks before you get there.
Here he comes now.
Here a splish, there a splash, everywhere a splish splash. You don't stop till every square inch of manhood is covered.
Everywhere a splish splash.
Overslept and haven't got time to shower? Not to worry. You've got 4 gallons of cologne and a plan. So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Way Too Much Cologne Wearer, because we think we smell a winner.
Mr. Way Too Much Cologne Wearer.
The cologne, that's I felt like
Yeah.
you're talking to me about the cologne wear.
You know, there was a guy that used to come to the bar I worked at, and we called him Man Bun because he had a man bun. Anyways, this guy, you would smell this guy right when he entered the bar. He poured on like a gallon cologne. And listen, it's good. You know, it's good to smell good, no doubt. But man, like, there's also like a point where you gotta dial it back some. And this guy was just, I mean, he must have sprayed every inch of his body. So, but yeah, it's just a great commercial. I love it. Here a splash, everywhere a splash. It's so funny about that. But hey, nothing wrong with cologne. Just, you know, some people go a little overboard with the cologne. But that was a Real Men of Genius video of the night. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast tonight. Jarek, my special co-host, where can they find you?
Jan Sports. I'm gonna start wrapping up the content a little bit more because again, it's been a dry period, but we got college, so you want to follow some college and then some more NFL previews. I'm gonna start ramping up the videos a little bit more. I've been on vacation too, so I've been on vacation and traveling, and you know, so you know, hopefully, you know, we're back now. We got training camp on the way. We got college football on the way. We got I'm not gonna do soccer. I'll do that next year because next year, you know, hopefully I can start doing more vlogs. I know some of you guys that are on my channel frequently have been asking me like, "Hey man, like when you keep telling us you're gonna do vlogs, we're gonna do it." I'm trying. I just gotta find the right time to do them. Bills games I could do them in, but I don't know for some reason like the security is like extremely tight with vloggers. I don't know why, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, so I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out, and then we'll just, you know, I'll just upload it whenever I just feel like doing it. So we have a lookout for me on Gent Sports on YouTube.
And by the way, if you're a Bama fan, this guy covers Bama every year, and and I'm gonna tell you right now, he don't bite his tongue. If they ain't playing well, he's gonna let you know. Same with the Bills, by the way. That's what I love about you, Jared. You keep it real, like us over here. There's a lot of channels that just a lot of rah-rah channels. They don't keep it real. They don't want to tell you. They don't want to tell you the truth on what's really going on. They want to sugarcoat everything. Everything's great. And we you know, I draw the line down the middle. You know, I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, the ugly of what I'm seeing. So anyways, guys, once again, thank you for joining us. Bills Mafia, you guys rule. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. We're out of here. Peace.
Go Bills.
There we go. Peace.